Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on the 24th of October. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, at the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Start leaving your comments in the comments section. And, of course, you can always follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Live from Sin City, the city that never sleeps. Ross Peterson, 4 a.m. in Las Vegas right now?
4 a.m. in Las Vegas. 3:15 was the wake-up call this morning.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Dude, luckily, you got coffee, and like you said, the city that never sleeps. I literally went downstairs and saw a security guard. I'm like, is there a place to get coffee at 3 a.m.? They're like, yeah, we have a coffee shop just opened up right around the corner.
Now, where are you? I see Paris behind you because I see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
I see some other things. Where are you exactly staying in Las Vegas right now?
In Caesar's Palace.
Okay.
Normally, Trav, when we get here, my buddy Ryan Grove, he and a couple of other guys, but Grove's kind of the guy that sets this whole thing up, and he gets like a suite, so all of us have a centralized place to hang out, and then he had an extra room. We had a few guys that weren't able to make it, and so rather than being in the suite and trying to, find a place where I could do this and not annoy everybody, they just kind of put me in my own room. So I'm on this. Explain this to me, construction guy. Okay. I'll try. It says I'm on the 66th floor. My floor is the 66th floor.
You're not 66 floors up in the air.
I'm not 66 floors up in the air.
That would be a major high-rise for Las Vegas.
The elevator goes from the ground. The first floor that you get in my elevator is 50. 50.
Oh,
so like when I get in the elevator goes 66, 65, 50 ground. That why do they do that just so that people feel?
Is it a Roman thing? I don't know. I didn't know if it was had to do with Caesar's Palace or if it was a Roman type thing. I have no idea. I don't think that's a construction thing. I would say that's probably dictated by the people who run the to run the hotel. Now, do they still have guys and gals in like Roman guard, like and do they have Caesar and like in a toga and stuff like that?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Wow.
Irish Hawk said, "Have you met Caesar? I'll keep looking for him. Irish. I'll be looking around for the guy." And Jason says, "Must be rough to have money." Jason, no, I don't pay for much of this stuff.
He has really good friends that have money, and he freeloads. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And you've always been very honest about this trip. You're like, hey, I don't pay for anything. I got buddies that want to take me along. They know I don't gamble. I don't cost them a lot of money.
I just make sure I'm not annoying.
Yes.
I try, have some good times, have some fun, and get out of Vegas. So
I think that's the key. There is you're not annoying, right? Because if you go on trips with the annoying friends never get to go back. They're like, nah, we're not bringing that dude.
Yeah.
Unless the annoying friend has all the money and is paying for everything, you just got to put up with said annoying dude.
So like when we got to the airport yesterday, I think I bought a drink for some of my buddies. Last night, Mark Charter, my broker, we were walking around and had a little snack. I bought that for him, but we talked business the whole time, so that's a write-off. I'm buying the broker dinner, and we're talking real estate. That's a write-off.
Yeah, it's like going to a convention. It's the Agency Iowa convention that's taking place in Las Vegas right now, so therefore you write that off.
Dude,
chips and dip.
Have you seen obvious prostitutes walking around? All right, dude, just us.
Just us fellas?
I just went down. It's 3:15 when I walked downstairs. 3:30, let's say, when I walked downstairs to get coffee. Yeah. The first thing you see when you get out. Like, I got off the elevator, I turned, there was a couple security guards. And I said, hey, maybe you guys can help me. Where can I get coffee here? And they're like, yeah, we're right around the corner here. And literally then took a step and heard, hey.
And did you say, hey?
I didn't. No, I just head down. Got to get coffee.
I'd have been like, how you doing?
I know you would have.
And then I just would have like kept walking. How you doing?
Dude, I would love to hear this story. Dude says, my buddy hired one and said it went horrible.
Well, nothing's going to go right. Nothing's going to go right in that situation. Dude, I mean,
listen. Not where I thought we'd start the show, but
no. Now I would never go down that road. But if I were, I wouldn't do it in Vegas. I would go to the Bunny Ranch. I would go up to the Bunny Ranch and do it there. But that's taking my creepiness to a completely different level, and I wouldn't do that. I'm stating that right now. But if I were to, it would be the Bunny Ranch. It wouldn't be somebody in the lobby of Caesars at 3:30 in the morning, because that meant she couldn't get a date the rest of the night, or she's been on several dates and looking for one more date.
I want you to send a link to Dude from Iowa so he can pop on the show and tell us that story.
I could do that. Now, what you did do is weird by some people's standards, but I need to hear. I could spend a whole half hour on this, and we may spend a whole half hour on this. And that a group of men went to see The Wizard of Oz last night. Yes, the childhood classic, The Wizard of Oz. You may think it's weird that a group of men would go to The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is playing at the Sphere. I first learned about this by watching CBS Sunday Morning right before they launched it. And it's this immersive 4D, 5D experience. Now, you've seen the side of the Sphere. I've seen stuff of when the Eagles or U2's at the Sphere, you kind of see the inside of what that is. Ross, were you a little cynical going into it at all? I'm going to the Wizard of Oz?
No, not at all. I was excited about going. I knew it was going to be a different experience. I was really excited about kind of taking it in and seeing how they take that little screen and blow it up onto that scale. And it was incredible. It was incredible. It's about $150 to go watch The Wizard of Oz. And that right there, people would be like, what?
I can watch it on my 84-inch HD 4K plasma, whatever, and get the same effect. No, you can't. You can't get the effect that you got last night.
No, you can't. I'm I'm going to pull something out. I didn't even think about it. I would do this for you, but you can watch The Wizard of Oz, or when the tornado happens, you can have leaves fly around the movie theater. And you can.
They bring in fans and everything, right?
It's like when you say immersive. When the apple tree starts to talk to him, apples fall from the sky.
Really?
Seriously. Doors open up at the top, and these styrofoam apples float down. Hundreds of them.
Are you able to keep those?
People grabbed them and caught them. And in fact, before it happened, Mark even said, "Hey, just so you know, apparently they drop apples and like they sell for like $100 on eBay, so people fight for them." And we were in an area that just none of them dropped, and we didn't see anybody fighting for them. In fact, we saw people like sharing them, you know what I mean? Because they would fall in one area, and people would end up with a lap full of them. But we were quite a bit of ways from that. When it snows, the snow falls from the sky in the form of like little tiny soap. So
that's when they're in the poppy field, right? That's when they're in the poppy field.
Yes, poppy. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not snow. It's they shrink down and it shakes and.
I believe it is snow because the poppy in the freezing is what got rid of the poison. I believe it is supposed to be snow because
the movie way better than I do.
I do know the movie really well.
So Travis, it would be fun. It'd be fun to go with like you and Anjanette, people who know the movie really, really well, because it's only about an hour, 15 minutes. So they cut, or is the movie that long?
No, it's a little bit longer than that, but their whole thing was when they they used a lot of AI to get the screen the way it is. So this is a lot of AI generated stuff to match. They wanted you to feel like you were basically on the movie set.
It's incredible.
Did you feel that?
Dude, I mean, when the tornado scene happens, your seat rumbles the entire time.
Oh,
when the flying monkeys start to fly around, I have the video of it, Trav, I'll send you. Flying monkeys are flying around the auditorium, whatever you want to call this thing. It's incredible. It is a super neat experience. So I'm really glad we did it.
Is it like an IMAX on steroids?
Great way to put it. Like IMAX on all the steroids. It is when you. Again, I wish I would have sent you more videos. I'll send you a bunch of them that I took today because every time there was one of those immersive experiences, I tried to just get a video of it because Audrey's really interested. So I wanted to make sure I got as much. And the leaf is for Audrey.
Man, that is super, super cool. I'm
was
glad
a neat
you did
experience. Yeah, I'm glad we did it too.
Now, was the sphere on the outside of, was it the Wizard of Oz on the outside as you were walking up to it? Like the witch, or just the logo, the Wizard of Oz?
I didn't see the outside of the sphere. I didn't see it because we walked up to it through the Venetian.
Oh, okay.
So we were inside almost the whole time, walking there and back, and so didn't get to see what the outside of it was.
You see, the thing is, the next time you watch the Wizard of Oz on regular television, you're going to be like, okay, this ain't it.
What I tried to do, Trav, was I was trying to see all of the other stuff, right? You know, I kept thinking to myself, I've seen the movie, I've seen Judy Garland. I've seen Judy Garland, and the witches and the Tin Man. I've seen that stuff, so I tried to keep my eyes on on that new stuff. Most of the time, it was neat, man. I would, if it's something you're interested in, it won't disappoint you.
For how much they spent just making this production, even at $150 a ticket, I'm wondering if they've even made their money back yet. And I noticed the auditorium wasn't sold out. No. Is that because there's only like certain seats you want to see it in? I mean, you had primo seats. You were right. The video you sent me, you were like right in the middle, which those might have been like $240 seats.
So
just saying.
Here's what I know, Trav. I'm glad that you said that. We were not in those primo seats.
Really? Because it sure looked like it.
It looked like it, didn't it? And that's
yes.
We weren't. In fact, because at one point, Mark, who kind of set it up for us, even said, he was like, see right over there, see on the other side of the aisle, those seats are like $40 more. I'm like, why? And he's like, because those are more centered than the other ones.
What else would be good in there? Our buddy Ken Payne said, did they throw any Dark Side of the Moon? I mean, could you imagine the
besides me, Ken, singing Dark Side of the Moon out loud when the movie was playing?
Did you smell any weed in there? Did you go, somebody's toking up in there?
No, not at all. Not inside. Not inside the Sphere at all. But it was funny because the movie got started and I turned to my buddy and I go, this would be so much better if they offered a dark side version.
Our buddy Mick, who's a regular listener to the show, says pre-sale tickets for Kenny Chesney in 2026 go on sale today at the Sphere. And you know that Mick is going to go see Kenny Chesney at the Sphere. So I've only seen the outside pictures. I've seen inside videos. I'm not a Vegas guy. If I were to go to Vegas to see a show at the Sphere, it would be literally fly into Vegas, go to the show, fly out the next day because I'm not going to gamble. I'm probably not going to do much stuff, and it's an expensive city. But that is literally on my bucket list.
So listen, as far as expensive goes, I need to tell you this story also. One of the things that Mark Charter also wanted to do was he'd been talking for a couple weeks about how he had found this restaurant that he grew up with in Ames. He didn't even know it was a franchise. He thought that it was this thing.
Happy Joe's?
It's called Taco Time.
Taco Time.
Taco Time. If anybody remembers, back in the 80s, maybe early 90s, in Ames, there was a place called Taco Time. And Mark found out there was one here in Vegas. Now, we're very lucky also in that one of our friends that's on this group lives here in town. So we got to the hotel. Mark pulls it up on Uber, and he's like, man, it's a $25 Uber to go to Taco Time, to go there. So that means it's going to be $50 for us just to get a ride there and back to this, like a Taco Bell type of restaurant. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Well, then luckily, our buddy Yeager was like, I'll drive you. It's not that far. It's a 10-minute drive. I'll drive you guys over there, and we'll come back. And so, man, I had low expectations. I was like, this... And Mark was like, you got to get a crisp meat burrito. You got to get one. He talked it up so much. The guys that didn't go with us were like, bring us back one. I'm curious now how good they are. Dude, it was really good. It was and super cheap. You know what I mean? It was like way off the strip. Well, our buddy drove us out there. We spent like $15 and brought back food for 3 guys. Crisp meat burritos. Kalen says that Kalen's like, love Taco Time. Was also one in Boone. Okay.
Wow. Jason says, if you like great theatrical experiences, and I've experienced this, the World War II Museum in New Orleans is absolutely amazing. It's much like you described, Ross. It doesn't have the sphere aspect to it, but it's like a 5D. So like the seats move. They have mist and everything when they're storming the beach at Normandy. It's freaking incredible. But the sphere is a different level because of the sphereness of it.
It's incredible. It's amazing. Booker wants an update on the friend that got robbed by the 2 ladies last time. Did he ever have to go back and testify against them and what happened? Yes, he did, and yes, he got his money back from that. He was not the only guy that night that they had done that to. And he didn't get like robbed by hookers because he was trying to get with the hookers or ladies of the night. Sorry.
Ladies of the night.
Professional women.
The world's oldest profession.
He was just standing there and they came up and snatched the money out of his hand. And then when he was running after him, his belt broke. How's he doing here? We're not sure.
What do we have? A movie taking place with you? What do you mean you're not sure?
We came out here as a group, except for one guy, and we're not sure if he's here or
where he's at.
Oh, all right.
Well, hopefully you run into him.
Hopefully.
I was thinking about you last night when we were talking about movies. I was thinking about you last night. I went out to dinner with our mutual friend Pat and the wives, right?
Okay.
And they were just asking us, hey, what are shows that we should watch right now? Because we're both empty nesters. So what we're doing instead of making food at home every night, we're going out to eat every single night. It seems like hey, you guys want to go grab dinner? So this is like the second time in the last 4 days we've done dinner together. And then finally Pat goes, what movie do you watch when you just want to be happy? What movie do you watch that just and I'm like, that's a good question. So I started going, and he started naming some movies, and finally I went, oh, I know what it is. If I want to be happy, if I want to laugh and just cheer up, I go, it's Tropic Thunder. And Pat goes, what's Tropic Thunder?
Oh, no.
He's never heard of Tropic Thunder. And Anjanette right away goes, oh, Trav starts his show every day with Tropic Thunder. And Pat's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And so I had to set the whole thing. I go, guys, Matthew McConaughey's in this, Robert Downey
Tom
Jr.,
Cruise
Ben Stiller.
in the role of Tom Cruise in the role of a lifetime.
And I said that. I said, this is Tom Cruise's greatest movie role ever. And they're looking at me, how can it be Tom Cruise's greatest movie role ever? And I've never heard of him. I said, you watch this. Now, I had to set, because his wife is probably, I go, you need to go into this knowing what Ben Stiller was trying to accomplish with this movie. Because a lot of people find it offensive. I go, I think it's hilarious. But I said, if you go in knowing that he's trying to mock Hollywood and the extremes that actors and actresses go to get a role or go through the role, I go, you'll understand the offensiveness to it. I go, just be prepared for some things that are just like, I can't believe they made this movie. So I go, if you go into that knowing that you're going to be offended, but they're not really trying to offend you, they're just trying to point out how weird Hollywood is. And so I walk. We're walking.
Listen, I think that's a safe space for somebody to say, hey,
yeah,
you need to understand what you're going into before you just turn it on.
And Pat goes, I can't believe I've never heard it. I go, Pat, you here's the deal. I go, I'm going to give you one line. Stupid ass Jack. I go, just.
I wouldn't even know where to start with. Yeah. Even Travis, even the previews at the beginning of the movie.
I need to tell him, hey, those aren't real previews. I'm going to text him.
The previews are hilarious.
Yes.
When nobody thought it could happen again, nobody thought it could happen 4 more times. It's so good.
So he's going to watch it tonight. He's going to watch it tonight. And I do need it, but I was thinking about that. I was taking my statin last night before I went to bed, and that's cholesterol medicine for those of you at home. And I'm like, I got to text him and say, hey, you're going to see like things pop up that look like previews to movies. You need to watch those. Those are part of the film itself that really kind of establishes
sets the scene
everything
for each one of the characters and all that. Yeah. How about Dan wrote in a couple? How about Hot Rod? Do you know that one?
I don't know Hot Rod.
That's a fun movie. My name's Ross, and I like to party. Hot Rod is Andy Samberg.
You see, I'm a little bit old for the Andy Samberg thing. I'm a little old for that. This movie, he kind of plays that like teenager that can't grow up. You know what I mean? Okay.
Early 20s, failure to launch type of character there. But I mean, he plays it really well. It's a funny movie. Bill Hader is in it. Our dude, Kenny Powers. What's that guy's real name?
Oh, I forget.
He's in Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Mother
Nature just pissed her pantsuit. Danny McBride. Danny McBride.
Isn't it funny? We know him more by his characters than we do his real name. We're like,
I think that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fun because his characters are all Kenny Powers.
Every one of them are Kenny Powers.
Hot Rod and Wedding Crashers. How about this one, Trav? Do you know Saving Silverman?
Oh yeah, that's the Neil Diamond one. And Amanda Peet is
Diamonds
super
in the
hot
Rough.
in that. Yes.
Yeah, Amanda Peet's a little bit too aggressive for me in that. You know what I mean? She wants to dominate. I'm not a fan of her in that movie. She's not a good person in that movie. Jack Black.
When the sauce goes down in the cleavage, come on.
I don't even remember that part of that movie. I swear to God. Like when I think of Saving Silverman, I just think of the diamonds in the rough, and when they bring in the Indian kid to be the lead singer. You've seen Office Space?
Yeah, I've seen Office Space several times.
Okay, all right. I think Office Space is a great one if you're looking to just have fun.
Now, I did take your advice the other night. I sat down and watched Best of Times.
Oh, you'd watched it?
No, I watched it the other night. You sent me, hey, this is where I can find it. I watched Best of Times.
It's okay, isn't it?
There's some great lines in there. It probably dragged on a little bit too long as they were preparing for the game. They could have just got straight to the game.
That late 70s, early 80s, the pace that movies had, where they all had to have like a 20-minute dialogue piece in them because of, My Dinner with Andre or something like that. I'm not sure why they all thought they had to have this long conversation in it. But there was one line in the Best of Times that I didn't. Beirut. What do you know about Beirut? Beirut? He the best damn baseball player ever lived.
Yeah, really, the funniest stuff of Best of Times was like that opening scene when they're establishing the town, and the town was originally called Moron, and they changed the name of the town, and how it's just kind of been cursed. But yeah, I watched the whole thing. I didn't give up on it. But you could see the potential of Robin Williams in that. You're like, he was so young at that point, and you're like, oh, you can just see Robin Williams developing his just ability to ad lib and deliver lines in a certain way. But yeah, I watched it. It wasn't bad.
I love it. If movies that make you feel good, or movies that if you want to be in a good mood. Somebody said Big Lebowski. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Idiocracy is a fun one. Yeah.
I'm the dude. But I think making you feel good is a lot of different things, because I'll watch The Godfather and I feel good watching The Godfather. And The Godfather
I've never
Part
been
2.
a fan.
And I get it.
Yeah.
And that's why
not for me.
I don't try to put the only movie I really try to push on people is Tropic Thunder. I'm like, you have to give Tropic Thunder, just because of the people who are in it, the cameo roles, and I wouldn't even call them nobody really has a cameo. I mean, McConaughey has a significant part. Jack Black has a significant part. Tom Cruise has a significant part.
Bill Hader is. I mean,
yes.
None of them are in it like on a one-off. Danny McBride's not just on it in one scene.
Nick Nolte's not. I mean, they have legitimate parts that add to the overall substance of the movie.
I just know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
What do you mean, you people?
I just know the sound it makes when it lies, he says back to him.
Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights has some great lines in it. That's a fun one. Those are all fun movies for. Travis does love one. Courtney watched this one on the way back from Ireland, and I still have never seen Notting Hill.
My kid, my son-in-law, Will, Anjanette, when she was down there, told Will that Notting Hill is one of my favorite movies. And Notting Hill is a movie I've watched probably at least 50 times. And he was shocked that would be something that I liked. And there's something about the chemistry with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant in that and the storyline that I like. But yeah, I'm into the rom-coms. I do like When Harry Met Sally, when in Notting Hill. I like the rom-coms. They do it for me a little bit. 515-517-2303 is the number to call. It is Friday. That means we got the Iowa Lottery Weekly Woo-Hoo coming up. Yes, the Weekly Woo-Hoo, where you have a chance to win a $90 prize pack from the Iowa Lottery. And the prize pack includes scratch, match, and win tickets, and Iowa Blackout scratch tickets, plus some Mega Millions free play coupons. That's coming up about 7:10, 7:15. Right here on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Ross is in Vegas, and we're going to talk gambling and a gambling scandal when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hi, Nate Shoesmith with Willis Cadillac. I'm the newest addition to the team. Wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know what awesome deals we have on our EVs today. This month we have 2.9% up to 60 months on our Cadillac Optic, Lyric, and Vistic. For all you Escalade fans out there, we are happy to have 3 in stock right now available. We also have this beautiful blue 2026 CT5V, new for the year color. If you'd like to schedule a test drive, visit us at williscadillac.com or visit our showroom today.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Is that
in Iowa? What's that?
Oh, go ahead. Do your Iowa thing here.
In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn feeds our livestock, food for our families, and clean burning fuel. For your drive to the game this weekend, going to Iowa City or going to Ames, drive clean with Unleaded 88 and support Iowa corn farmers. Go to iowacorn.org to pump it up with Unleaded 88. What were you saying?
Is that a clarinet?
It might be. A very underappreciated instrument is the clarinet.
Versatile instrument, the clarinet.
It is. Can give you a lot of different... The oboe also might be an underappreciated instrument.
What's an oboe sound like? Do an oboe for me.
Little, I don't know if I can. The oboe's got a really thin reed on it. But just picture the oboe maybe a little more high-pitched than a clarinet. How's that?
I wanted you so bad to just go. Sounds like that.
That's a trumpet.
Yeah.
That's a trumpet. I used to use Chuck Man. I used to go around doing a little Chuck Mangione.
Yours sounds like it's got the plunger on the end. You sound like you got the plunger thing going. Can Anjanette do a trombone just without the trombone? Can she?
I don't know. I don't know if she can or not.
You wanted
she
to
was
talk
a trombone player.
You want to talk real stuff here. I'm sorry.
No. I don't care what we talk about. Yesterday, right when we got off the air, I sent you a text. I said, "Holy fuck!" But then the more I thought about it, Ross, I'm like, I'm not surprised at anything anymore. Is this how cynical I've gotten in my life to where I was? There was an initial shock, but after I sat back, I'm like, does this stuff really surprise me anymore? I mean, it's horrendous. It's the story is gross, and what we're talking about is a FBI bust where we saw Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Terry Rozier, an NBA player, and Damon Jones, a former NBA player and a former NBA assistant coach, get arrested in a national gambling sting that's got 34 people arrested, was in 11 states. And with Chauncey, there are a couple different things here. Terry Rozier is probably the most egregious when it comes to sports because we're talking about giving away insider information that wasn't public knowledge, taking himself out of a game to where a buddy of his allegedly bet the under on all the player props, and then his buddy shows up at his house and gives him a couple $100,000. Damon Jones possibly giving information on LeBron James. And then you have Chauncey Billups, who might be tied to some player prop information, but his goes to the Cosa Nostra Mafia, to where they were playing poker in an elaborate scheme to fraud people out, allegedly using card shufflers that were fixed, contact lenses that could read cards face up or face down, so he knew what he was doing. This is crazy.
It's wild, dude. Something incorporated with like the cameras in the card shuffling machine. It's wild. And when you say the Cosa Nostra, it's the cartel.
This is the
cartel.
Italian. This is the Italian mafia, not the Mexican mafia. I mean, so it's like, but you're right. It's a cartel.
The Rozier, like each one of these, the one that I don't know, that I know the least about is the third guy. The two that I've heard the most about, dude, Rozier. Those videos of him are unreal. It looks like we talked about Blue Chips the other day. How they've got that scene where they're going back and they're like, wait, this kid is, it looks like he's point shaven. Look at how, and you watch the movie and you're like, well, yeah, that guy's obviously not trying. It looks like that. He's handing the ball off to the opposing team, handing the ball off to them. Like a horrible basketball. And then you find out the dude had friends with money on the game. Travis, the part that is fascinating to me when it comes to Chauncey Billups is not just the cartel side of it, but I think the next level of that is we'd all had said, I said it, I totally believed it, like, man, making gambling legal, it's wonderful. It brought it all above board. Look, everybody was doing this, but everybody was doing it under the table, and it was all happening illegally, and bad things can happen, and nefarious actors will get involved when it's illegal. Nefarious actors were involved at the highest level because it was legal. That should shock everybody. That to me is a thing where we should. I will literally look at it and go, maybe we should reevaluate this whole thing. Maybe these guys shouldn't be like. Somebody put it in the chat and said, "Wow, What an odd week for the NCAA to announce that college players can start to gamble. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Connect the dots here, because if it was happening at that level, it's going to happen. Because if it's happening with Chauncey Billups, who's an NBA head coach, it's going to happen with a kid. It's going to happen with an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid who gets his ass in a sling with gamblers, the wrong gamblers, and they get a hold of him. And to think it hasn't happened or isn't happening is naive.
Now, help me out, because I don't live in Iowa, but in Iowa, you can't do player prop bets, correct? On college kids.
On college, yes. I believe so. I shouldn't even speak with authority on that, but I think you're saying that right.
So you just you look at this and go, are player prop bets the most dangerous type of bets? Because that's where you could a player may say, hey, I know what my over-under on rebounds is. I know what my over-under on points is. I can easily not go after a rebound. I can easily not take a jump shot here when I'm wide open. I believe in free will. I believe that you should be able to gamble, but there are certain things to where and I know point shaving exists, and it existed long before it became legal. But when we start talking about player props, that's where you kind of look at this Terry Rozier, who allegedly, and by the way, was investigated by the NBA, but he was never cleared by the NBA. They just did not have enough evidence against him to suspend him. Remember, they suspended a guy last year from the Toronto Raptors for a lifetime. And as this goes through, you want to believe that if these guys are found guilty, first of all, they're going to do a lot of prison time. Second of all, they're never going to be associated with the NBA ever again. But are player props, Ross, maybe the most dangerous type of bets to where this can happen a lot more?
Right now, I couldn't say no to you. I mean, it seems like what these guys were doing and where that was being manipulated. It seems like the most easily manipulated, right? And one of our listeners says, and I'm sorry, S. Benkin says, player props are allowed on players not in Iowa.
Okay.
So you just can't bet on Iowa player props. A lot of people are pointing out this irony, because I think maybe it was Coach Hersom, Mike Greenberg, reporting this story on ESPN with a Bet ESPN ad in the corner. My buddy Jim Byers put on Facebook, he says, coming up on Sports Network X, quote, why are there so many gambling scandals in sports these days? We'll investigate next. Broadcast above a crawl of point spreads, odds, and over-unders, sponsored by ESPN, FanDuel, DraftKings.
Which, by the way, are all revenue drivers. They're all revenue drivers. And it doesn't make it right, but there is some hypocrisy there. I understand it.
Yeah, it's pearl clutching. It's, oh my God, they're gambling on the sports. All right, so let's get into these over-unders. We'll do Larry's Locks coming up next.
Now, Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith got into it last night on Inside the NBA. And, Kenny Smith went down the addiction route. Like, gambling is an addiction, all this. And Charles said, hey, I gamble. And we all know that Charles Barkley gambles. He goes, when you make $26 million a year like Terry Rozier, he goes, you're not an addict. You're just stupid. When you put your whole career on the line, that is just being you don't need the money when you're making $26 million a year. You are just being stupid.
No, Charles Barkley.
No, I'm not saying.
I love Charles. I love Charles, but here's the deal, Travis. He is an addict. He is a gambling addict. And there is no. I am shocked to hear that he would even try to deny that, because normally Charles Barkley seems very self-aware, but this is an example of not being self-aware. This is an example of being blinded by your own behavior. How much money you have is not what determines whether or not you're a gambling addict. How often you gamble is what determines whether you are a gambling addict. It doesn't matter. It's not like, well, big money, big bills. No. What do you do? Because people make a lot of money that don't gamble. A lot of people make a lot of money and they don't gamble.
I want to get your opinion on this because let's say Rozier's not a gambler, okay? Let's say he's doing it to help out a friend, which he allegedly did, and the friend gave him the tip, the $200,000. Let's look at Chauncey Billups. You like playing poker. All of a sudden, you're in with the mafia, and you don't really have a choice at that point. So that's where there could be. I think there's a lot to learn here. Whether you're a true addict to where you're upside down,
but that's not. Charles wasn't talking about those two situations.
No.
He's talking about the guy that gambled a lot and had. He's like, well, if you got $20 million, it's not the same thing. Bull. That's not.
No, he was talking about Rozier, which we need to find out if Rozier was a true hardcore gambler or if he's just doing this to help out his buddies, right? Hey,
yes.
My buddy wants to, because that's two different stories when it comes to addiction. And I agree that gambling can be an addiction.
True. I'll give you that. Gambling is absolutely an addiction.
100%. 100%.
I'm not going to listen. I love Ray, but Ray's not going to be my go-to guy when I start to talk about some of that stuff because Ray's in that world, right? I mean, we all again, I love Ray, but we all know that Ray talks about marijuana in a way different manner than everybody else that you're around, right? Is he more knowledgeable about it? Yeah, he's thought a lot more about it than most of us. Has Charles Barkley spent a lot more time thinking about gambling? Yeah. The minute Charles Barkley starts to say, I'm not really an addict. Sorry, man, you are. You don't get to say that. That's a behavior, and your behavior shows that you are. I'm not so.
And by the way, sports figures with gambling problems, I mean, it was never proven, but I think we all think that Michael Jordan had a gambling problem.
Yeah.
We all know that Phil Mickelson did, right? I mean, a lot of people say he took the live deal to pay off a lot of his gambling debts.
Right, exactly. So it happens. I do think that there is this conversation that needs to be had about the irony of ESPN will be doing stories about this. And pearl clutching. Can you believe that this happened? All right, let's break down the point spreads next.
Well,
can you believe? Can you believe that? Because here's the hidden thing. Here's the unspoken part. Can you believe that these millionaires that know this game inside and out? Can you believe that they go and gamble their money? Isn't that unbelievable? Now, to you people out there who are struggling to pay your bills and don't know shit about this sport, here's a way for you to send us your money. That should be part of this conversation, I think, as each one of these networks goes to break and then shows you that they pay their bills on the back of you losing your money. DraftKings does not get to pay ESPN a bunch of money because you win. DraftKings pays a bunch of money to ESPN because people lose. They get a ton of money. They give a chunk of it to ESPN to tell more people to give them money.
Look behind you right now. Just look behind you.
The whole thing. The whole thing.
It wasn't built on people winning.
Nope.
Sure, you can go to Vegas and win, but that whole city is not built on people winning. It's built on people losing.
Dude, Ray's throwing out some gold right now because Ray does this sometimes. I was addicted to smuggling weed. And then look at the next thing he says.
But look what he said at. He said, I was good at it, right? He goes, I loved smuggling. The one, he goes, I was addicted to weed because I was good at it.
It was a religious experience with an asexual orgasm. The vibration he got from it was that he compares it to a religious experience.
Like most things, Ray, if you would have got caught, you probably understood the consequences that would have happened to you. These guys,
That's
down,
a good point.
Yeah, you can be addicted, right? But you also deep down know what the consequences are. Terry Rozier, if he's found guilty, deep down knew if he got caught what the consequences would be. Chauncey Billups, if he is found guilty, deep down knew what the consequences would be. You know who hates this story more than anything is the city you're in right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they should.
Yeah.
Because, man, once you start to jeopardize the integrity of it, it changes. Dude, Travis, this just, how many people for how long? There's such a conspiracy theory out there about sports being fixed anyway. The NBA has been talked about being fixed for a long time. The frozen envelopes, the weird trades that happen that don't make any sense until 5 years later when you find out that there was weird stuff happening. The NFL gets this all the time. I mean, the NFL, how many people out there think that the Chiefs get all the calls and that the NFL wants the Chiefs to win? There'd be a lot of hands going up right now. And this stuff fuels that fire like this place. You're right, dude. That's the biggest fear for this place.
I'm going to ask you something. Do you like it now that it's legal, open, and out there? Or would you rather go back to the old days where you could only sports bet in Vegas, and if you were betting on the south side of Des Moines, you had to go to your bar, get your sheet, and do it that way where everything was underground? Is it better not to let Pandora out of the box, or is it better that Pandora's out of the box?
Huh.
Because this is nothing new. We need to understand what we saw yesterday is nothing new. It's been going on for years. Point shaving, all this stuff.
That's why I'm stuck for a second. That's why I needed to think about it because obviously both things are going to happen no matter what we do. Right? It wasn't above board. It wasn't legal. All the stuff was happening. You just had to get with Southside Johnny, right? And then we made it legal. Well, the under the board stuff still happens. So which is better? Is it better that you put it above board but the illegal stuff still happens, or is it better if you try to keep a lid on it? I'd love to see what impact legalizing gambling at this level has had on the Iowa economy. I'd love to see some sort of study on that, of what's happened with people's net worth, what's happened with public debt, what's happened with private debt. Do we have better roads? Is there a benefit? We've had Prairie Meadows around for a long time, and I've always bragged about Prairie Meadows, man. I've never been a part of a charity that didn't in some way get propped up because Prairie Meadows cut them a big check. They do a lot of philanthropy stuff. I would really like to. It'd be interesting. It doesn't feel like things are better because we legalized gambling, does it?
But does it feel like it's worse?
Yeah.
Does it?
A little bit.
And I'm in a weird situation, right? Because for the longest time before gambling became legal in the state of Nebraska, I lived literally, I could spit on the casino because I'm right on the river, right? So even though it wasn't legal in Nebraska, every Council Bluffs casino was funded by Nebraskans. So I don't know if there was a benefit for the state I live in or not, because it was here without being here. I will say this when it comes to sports betting. There's a lot, because gambling is all-encompassing. You're talking craps, you're talking blackjack, you're talking poker. There's a lot of things we're talking about when it comes to casino. Let's specifically dial in on sports gambling. I think it is better being legal for the fact that you can track a lot of irregularities. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, sure. I knew what you meant.
But the data that comes in, they flag that stuff a lot faster, and they're able to go, hey, Mr. NFL, Mr. NCAA, you have a player that's tied to this account that's not working on the up and up, and they turn them in. So I think it's better from that standpoint. I'm not looking at the economy. I'm not looking at people's addictions. I'm looking at just the legitimacy of sports gambling is better being legal than it is through Southside Johnny.
I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think that really is what we're talking about, Travis, is the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
Is the integrity of the game less at risk because it's legal? Yeah. It's better to have it above board. I love it. Was it somebody wrote in the chat and said, "Why is it always got to be the South Side? Why can't you guys ever say Waukee Johnny?"
Because it's where all the Italians are.
That's what Ray said. Ray says, yeah, because there's a lot of families on the South Side that are with the mafioso.
Willie Farrell may be listening right now. Willie Farrell, I guarantee, grew up and knew a bookie. He knew somebody. I know a guy. But were you shocked? When I sent you that, I was like, holy crap. Then I just sat back and went, you know what? Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing shocks me. Somebody cheats in college, you're like, you did that? Oh, okay, you just found it. You found a loophole. I think the Terry Rozier one where you're taking yourself out of a game doesn't surprise me. I think I was probably more shocked at Chauncey Billups, and not that he plays poker. A lot of people play poker. At the contact lenses and the amount of extreme the technology that was involved, you're like, wow.
Travis, did you hear the thing about the cameras inside the card shufflers?
I did not. I heard there was something with the card shuffler, but I didn't know there were cameras in it.
Here's the way that I understood the story as I was reading through some of the stuff last night and just some of the things I was watching. That every one of those automatic card shufflers has a little camera inside of it that basically, as the decks are shuffled together, it monitors every card and it keeps a record of what the cards are. The idea behind that technology was to prevent dealers from pulling from a different part than the top card. So the minute the deck is shuffled, they know who the winners and losers are going to be. They know how many people are at the table, and they know what the outcomes will be. The computer's that quick. These guys figured out a way to hack that camera. So the casinos weren't necessarily involved. These geniuses figured out, wait a minute, there's a little tiny RFD signal coming off of that camera. We can grab that signal and send something to, I can't remember, it was the contacts, but there was something else that I think it was an earpiece that would give them numbers and tell them basically what position at the table was going to win. It is extremely coordinated and complicated and intelligent. Incredibly.
It's crazy is what it is. Absolutely crazy. So Chauncey Billups was released yesterday, had to forfeit his passport. He's not allowed to reach out to any of the other people who were indicted on this. Same with Rozier. You got to believe they've both been indefinitely suspended by the NBA. This is going to take a long time to get through. I think Billups is due back in court in late November. Rozier's due back in court in December. And Chauncey Billups has to appear in Brooklyn, I believe it is, because this took place in New York.
Does it make anybody else question a lot of this load management stuff that we've seen over the years in the in the NBA?
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, load management has been
it's been a huge
fairly
topic.
Recent phenomenon. I mean, it's been around
these
for a while,
last
but
5-10 years, it's become a huge thing where you can go to a game and not see any of the superstars play. I mean, Greg Popovich was at least open and honest about it, right? Greg Popovich would basically say, yeah, I take a couple of games and throw them. I take a couple games and tell my superstars, you guys are going to sit here because I need you healthy to beat the Lakers on Friday, so I don't care about you playing against the Cavs on Wednesday or whatever, whatever it is. I think that would be totally fair for an NBA fan to question the entire load management thing that we've seen. I mean, most sports fans remember when we were like, wait a minute, the best players don't even play? No, you can't expect these guys to actually get out there 82 times a year. Okay, sure. And you accept it. You go, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It took until Pete Rose. It took until all the stuff came out about Pete Rose before people started to go, wait a minute. He would put himself into pinch hit. Well, wait a minute. Some days he'd burn his entire bullpen, and then they'd lose the next game. Wait a minute. How was all of that really playing out behind the scenes? I think that it's totally fair right now for NBA fans to go, we should probably reassess a lot of this stuff. We should go back and look at a lot of these guys and see what's going on.
We may not like what we see. You start scratching the surface, you're peeling an onion away.
Yeah.
515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. Don't forget Tyler Kluver going to be joining us around 7:30 as the Hawkeyes are home tomorrow to play Minnesota. We'll talk about the Iowa State Cyclones and their showdown with BYU, plus the Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo when we come back on the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Your tires connect your vehicle to the road, which means they take the brunt of every pothole, curb, or nail you come across. New tires are one of the most significant maintenance items you can perform on your car.
For the month of October, when you purchase 3 tires, you get the 4th for $1.
And proper alignment is the best way to maintain the longevity of your tires. That's why we give you a free alignment check with any regular service.
Give us a call
or schedule your service online at williscadillac.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Friday, everybody. We got a busy hour coming up. Of course, Tyler Kluver going to join us at 7:30. We got the Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo. Get ready to call in, win yourself a $90 prize pack from the Iowa Lottery. If you're listening on the audio stream this morning at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Also, leave your comments in the comments section and like the video and follow us on our social media channels. I was going to go straight to Iowa State, but during the break, Ross just drops little things in my lap, and I thought this was an old picture. Marty Terrell got arrested again?
Yep. Yep. Back in, the United States District Court for Southern District of Iowa. Running the same scam, dude. Did it again last year. Yeah, I don't even know what to add to it here. Same thing. If people that know that name know exactly what we're talking about, he was defrauding people, or he's accused of. I should be careful here because I don't know where they're at in the actual trial again. But I was sent some information yesterday that said he's back in custody, and I was sent the indictment, and it was filed October 16th of 2025. And details. I mean, everybody that knows what he was accused of could almost recite parts of this indictment.
Ross, I'm gonna ask you a really weird question, and
yeah,
you can
fire away, dude.
I could be the key grip, and you could go punch that guy in the face really, really, really hard.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
We were talking about addiction early. Is Marty just a really bad person, or does he have an addiction?
Boy.
Because you see the best in people, or can two things be true at the same time? You're just a really shitty person.
I was going to answer it that
addiction.
way. I was going to say that both of those things can be true. You can have an addiction and be a wonderful person with a great heart who doesn't actually try to hurt people, and then you can be a person like this that just leaves a wake of destruction behind you. That destroys every relationship that you have. Never learns your lesson. You know what I mean? Like you go to prison, you get a second shot at this thing, and again, I think these are still accusations. I don't want to get myself in trouble by any stretch. He's got very, very, very powerful friends that always seem to have his back that could sue the shit out of me. So I want to be very careful. I don't know exactly where they're at in the trial, but I do know that I was sent some information and the screenshot of a mugshot, and I was sent an indictment of that read again. I read through it, and it was the exact same. It was tick tick tick, the exact same story that it was several years ago. There is no City View anymore, so nobody's going to cover it because God knows the Register, unless somebody calls them and hands them the story and tells them how to write it, they aren't going to do anything with it.
Same with the television stations, right?
Yeah,
television
TV stations are just repeaters. We don't have reporters. I've tried to tell you guys this. We don't have reporters. We have repeaters. We have folks that go out and they get told a story and then they put it in print and send it to you. Tommy Birch is a reporter. There's a handful of people, but in TV, very, very few. Most of them are repeaters. I mean, the Ian Roberts story is the best example we have of that. We had two news outlets, WHO TV News and the Des Moines Register newspaper, sent reporters out, said, "Hey, who are you?" And he said, "I'm a Brooklyn native." And they went, "Brooklyn native," and put it out as news. That should be that's
and
enough.
Never double-checked it.
That's enough for you to go, "Oh, that's not a reporter, that's a repeater." Got it. Okay, cool. So now I know I'm just being fed what they're just spitting out what they're fed. So I was sent that information. I thought I would send it along because it's of interest to some people here. It's certainly sensational. But Trav, to answer your question, I think it's a little bit of both there.
You know, because it goes back to his meltdown on KXNO. We people remember what happened there, and I don't have a heart really, but I feel sorry for the people who get scammed, and I actually feel sorry for Marty because when you and not that I would ever go hang out with a guy, but when you get a second chance and you blow it, that's on you, man. That's really, really on you. Sorry, I know you want to make a lot of money, but you're better off going to work at Burger King and be a manager or something like that, or something like that, not to rip people off allegedly. So, well, thanks for sending that to me. That was it kind of shocked me a little bit. I'm like, God, not again. We do have a busy weekend of college football, and Iowa State is at home tomorrow against BYU. Ross, call me crazy. You can call me crazy. And Iowa State's lost 2 in a row. A lot of people saying, Derek from New Sharon has just disappeared because, they've lost 2 in a row, and we haven't heard from Derek from New Sharon.
That's a good point.
But Iowa State, I put this on the thumbnail. It's like staying alive weekend for both Iowa and Iowa State because even though both have 2 losses, it is staying alive. Iowa to me is definitely a week-by-week thing because they've got Oregon coming up, they've got USC coming up, they've got Nebraska coming up, and I know Iowa State's got more games. I think Iowa State wins tomorrow, but Ross, I think Iowa State wins out. I think Iowa State has a very good shot at finishing 10-2. They'll still need. So they have BYU this weekend.
Okay.
At home. Then they have Arizona State at home. Then they go to TCU. They have Kansas at home. And they have Oklahoma State on the road. You look at that schedule and you go, okay, this is manageable. Now, they'll still need some help. They'll need Cincinnati to lose a couple games. They'll need, even if BYU were to get beat by Iowa State tomorrow, they'll need BYU to lose another game to get
another one.
But if you lose tomorrow, you're done. You're out of the Big 12 championship mix, and you're out of the college football playoff mix. It is stay alive weekend.
The crappy thing is Houston and Texas Tech both have one loss as well. You don't get a chance to play either one of those teams.
Yeah.
You're right, Trav. Got to beat BYU. You can't lose 3 losses. You're absolutely there's no way you're getting in. And with wins against BYU and Arizona State, is that enough to move the needle to get you back up? I mean, first of all, I think that the only way now is to win the Big 12.
100%. Right? And that's when I say stay alive.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
And if you stay alive in the Big 12, you are alive for the college football playoff. Because if you have a chance to win the Big 12 championship game, you get into the college football playoff. So there's still a chance for that big. And again, a lot of things have to happen with those other teams that have 1 or 0 losses. But a third loss takes you out of the deal. You win tomorrow and win out, which is highly possible. You're in the mix.
For Iowa, though, I think am I hearing you right in saying because Iowa still has Oregon on their schedule, who, by the way, now is the only ranked team on Iowa's.
No, USC's not ranked anymore, are they?
USC got knocked out of the top 25. But for Iowa, you're thinking that their avenue is actually to get into the college to make it back into the college football playoff poll. And get selected for the college football playoff.
Because I look at it this: if you can finish in the top 4 of the Big Ten, is the Big Ten, and again, it's a long shot. It is a long shot. I don't want anybody to go, well, you think they're going to go 10-2, they're in. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's staying alive, being part of that conversation. If you can finish in the top 4 of the Big Ten, are you part of that conversation? Maybe, maybe not. A loss sure as hell knocks you out, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're done.
Boy, there's a lot of 2-loss Big Ten teams that could be having the same conversation.
Yes. And as we've seen in years past, there's a lot of college football. Even though we're halfway through the season or over that halfway mark, we know that there is a lot of college football to be played. I just look at Iowa State's schedule a little differently than I look at Iowa's.
Yeah.
Everybody takes one game at a time. I get it. But I do say, you've got BYU at home. You've got Arizona State at home. I think you can win at TCU. KU you can beat at home, and you better beat Oklahoma State on the road because Oklahoma State's freaking horrible.
They're awful right now. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trav, I think you're right. And I love the way you put it. It's a staying alive weekend for both teams. Is it a glimmer of hope for both of these teams? It is. But the window is still open. Just cracked. Just barely cracked. If you can keep it there. Interesting. I agree with you. Iowa State, I like their chance, dude. Even though, did you see the injury report that came out?
Yeah, it's massive. Now Dominic Orange was upgraded from doubtful to questionable.
Oh, I didn't see that. Nice. That's a big one. If you can get him, that would be huge.
But injuries was a long injury list. There's no doubt about that. Not disputing that whatsoever. It is time for the Iowa Lottery Weekly. Woohoo! Right. Well, it's kind of because I did some board and I got the old one that I used to have, so I put it somewhere else. But I'll find it. 515-517-2303. As it's time for the weekly woohoo from the Iowa Lottery, celebrating 40 years of fun in 2025. Call in now and tell us something that made you go woo-hoo, or we'll even take a boo-hoo as we get closer to Halloween, and you could win an Iowa Lottery prize pack valued at $90. Again, 515-517-2303. What made you go woo-hoo this week, Ross?
Man, so much this week, dude. Obviously, yesterday, for folks that missed the beginning of the show, last night I went to the Sphere for the first time, got to see the Wizard of Oz. It was breathtaking. I've sent Trav a few of the videos from being inside of the place, and it was a really cool experience. And so my woohoo is having some amazing friends that like to share awesome experiences in this life, and my woohoo is friends.
Senorita Puffer, welcome to the Rush Radio Show. Who is your weekly woo-hoo?
I am my weekly woo-hoo because I was feeling pretty grumpy a couple days. Bounced back. So I got one thing to say to her. I've been an Iowa my whole life, and so I really don't think it was fair for him to call me a Virginian.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, Senorita Puffer.
That's a very good one. That was great.
Thanks.
A Virginian.
That's what she heard. See how she made that a positive?
That's a big star next to Senorita Puffer. I think that one was really fun. That's perfect. For those that don't know what happened, she called in on Saturday. Do I have a time to tell the story to give people the background of being a Virginian?
Yeah.
So real quick, she called in at the end of the Black and Gold Rush, and she said, "Hey, I didn't necessarily like the fact that the coach came out, the Penn State coach came out and said he wanted to empty the clip on Iowa. She's a high school teacher. That stuff hits a little bit close to home. Well, then she was the second to last call. The last call is Booker from Marshalltown, there's something about Booker. When he criticizes somebody, it sinks in.
It's personal.
And he said, I wish that lady weren't such a vagina. And she wrote to me and she's like, did that dude just call me a vagina? She put it on the chat. That Senorita Puffer, A+.
Christine, welcome to the Rush Radio Show. Who is your weekly woo-hoo?
Good morning. My weekly woohoo is two parts. First, I celebrated my 31st wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
On Wednesday. Yeah, and that evening, I spent 3.5 hours basically helping my son buy his first new car.
Oh, what'd he get? And hopefully he got it at Willis. If he didn't, don't tell us where he got it, but we'll just assume that he got it at Willis Auto.
They never called him back. Anyway, he got a 2025 Subaru Crosstrek.
Wow. A Subaru. Wow.
Very nice.
All right.
Yeah, well, we were trading in a 2014, and night and day difference. They've really improved that CVT transmission.
You're talking trannies with us. Christine's talking transmissions. Thank you so much, Christine. Congratulations on the wedding anniversary, and congratulations to your son on getting his first car.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bruno would be a big fan. Bruno's a big Subaru guy. Yeah, Bruno would be a big fan of the Subaru purchase.
Everybody in our family are like Gretchen has a Subaru, and Bob and Fran have a Subaru. I purposely don't get Subarus because everybody else in the family has one. I went ahead and got a Range Rover. That's what I got.
I just assumed you didn't get it because of the implications.
Well, there are implications with a Subaru. I didn't want to bring that up to Christine. I didn't want to say your son bought a Subaru by choice. If he had a wife that said, I want a Subaru, I get it. But, I hope you're laughing right now. Jerry, welcome to the Rush Radio Show. Who's your Iowa Lottery Weekly Woohoo?
My weekly woohoo is tomorrow is opening day for Iowa's 100th pheasant season. I got my dad, who's 75, coming down to Central Iowa to go out with me, and so what's not to celebrate there?
Wow. Now, are you limited on birds? I'm not a hunter, so are you limited like in the number of birds you can get in a day or anything like that?
You are. So you can shoot 3 roosters per day.
Okay, I'm just curious. And I have because I
We're
don't
idiots.
fish. I don't
We're
hunt.
ignorant when it comes to hunting.
You're walking a prairie, birds fly out. How do you know if it's a rooster or not? I mean, do you ever just kill a non-rooster?
No, it's a good question. There's a lot of times. So I took a group of kids out both Saturday and Sunday last weekend for youth season. And we had a lot of those teaching moments of going, nope, don't shoot. If we can't tell what it is, especially if they get up and they fly towards the sun, right now the sun is really low at 8 o'clock in the morning when you can start to hunt. And so you do have a lot of those where you're going, I think that was a rooster. Maybe it was a hen. I'm not sure. So you just got to let those go. Got to make sure it's a sure thing or you know exactly what it is when you pull the trigger.
Do you get in trouble if you don't shoot a rooster? Or do you just leave that thing lying there dead?
You would if our friendly conservation officers were to catch you harvesting a hen. Yes, there would probably be some fines and possibly your firearm taken away from you.
Ooh, better know what you're shooting. All right, Jerry. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, I can't tell one bird from another.
Either can I. A robin looks like a sparrow to me. I don't know.
Dude.
The only reason I know a goldfinch because it's got freaking gold on its belly. That's
the
it.
only reason I know it's a bird is if it flies.
Is a penguin a bird? Doesn't fly, but is it a bird? I don't know. 515-517-2303. This says Tusa. It probably didn't hit it phonetically. Who am I speaking with?
It's Nick. It must have been my last name.
Okay, Nick. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show. Who's your weekly woohoo?
My weekly woohoo is me. I was listening to yesterday's show about the guy that's going to Kinnick, and it dawned on me this morning on some advice for him, especially if you're going to be walking around the tailgates and stuff like that. It's called the poor man's cooler. You get 2 grocery bags, some ice, and as much beer as you need. Then you can walk around. Then when it's ready to go into the game, you just pitch the empty bag.
That's kind of a good idea. The poor man's cooler.
Poor man's cooler.
Genius idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you go to a beer festival, you take a pretzel necklace. You ever heard of that, Travis?
No.
Yeah. People take a little piece of string and you load it up with pretzels, and then you tie it around your neck, and then you've got a little snack all around your neck the whole time. When I was a season ticket holder, we used to do pretzel pocket, where before you left the tailgate to go to the house, to go to the game, you grabbed a handful of pretzels and you put them in your pocket. And then as you were drunk and you were sitting at the game, you had a pretzel pocket.
Yeah, they get a little soggy. I sweat down there quite a bit.
They get sweat down there. You keep them inside the pocket.
Yeah, I know that, but my groin area, it just...
Yeah, you should talk to a doctor about that. That sounds...
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it, man. Good stuff. Speaking of Joe, who we talked about yesterday being a Hawkeye virgin, we had somebody reach out yesterday and say, hey, invited him, so I'm gonna put those two in contact. He does say, if anybody else wants to invite us and 4 Wanderers into their tailgate, let me know. We plan on getting to the stadium around 10:30. 10:30, I think, is a good time to get to the stadium. It's a 2:30 game.
2:30 kick? Okay.
Yeah. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Gives you a couple of hours. I will tell you, you're going to be driving into the party. You are going to, if you get there at 10:30, Trav, you're going to feel like you got there late. You're going to 10:30 is going to, you're going to have a hard time parking. You're going to be in traffic the whole time. You're going to have a hard time, I think, finding a spot. I shouldn't speak with authority on this stuff. I should let the guys that are there on a weekly basis. Yeah, Irish Hawkeyes saying the same thing I'm thinking. 10:30 might be a little bit too late. I'd maybe shoot for closer to 9. Would get you there, get you settled. Then by about 10:30, if you shoot for a 9 o'clock, by 10:30 you're actually going to be at a tailgate. You're going to have a couple of hours to hang out and have fun and get to know some people. But everybody's got their own life happening, and there will be people that pull up way later than 10:30. So don't feel like you're the last one to the party by any stretch.
Yeah, because and maybe it's the right enough time to where he's going for his very first time. maybe that 10:30, that 4-hour thing is just enough to have fun. You walk in and and I connect with people. And you're like, I got to come back, and then next time we'll come back. We'll come earlier.
Good thought there, Trav. Yeah. And you're still going to get a lunch. You know what I mean? There's still going to be food, and you'll have a couple beers. Yeah, you're right. Good call.
Now, the reason he should go earlier, because I know they're probably worried about drinking, but they're going to stay in Solon tomorrow night, and that's fair. That's close. It's not like they're driving all the way back to Omaha. So
yeah, okay, that helps.
Still time to get some calls in on the weekly woohoo at 515-517-2303. We got a lot of good calls so far. If you want a chance at a $90 prize pack for the Iowa Lottery, again, 515-517-2303. You are in Las Vegas right now, Ross. You are going to be in Las Vegas for Game 1, Night 1 of the World Series. Do you plan on watching your buddies sit at a blackjack table, or are you going to go to a sports book like Circa or something and just sit and watch it on the big screens?
Well, we've got the suite. I would imagine that's where the game, if we have a gathering spot, it'll probably be there because that just is a comfortable spot. We've got all of our food and drinks and all that stuff there. Normally, like I know that tomorrow during the day, the plan will be to be at a sports book, probably here at Caesars. I don't know. What would be fun tomorrow night would be to go to Fremont Street and go hit up Circa or one of those places. That's always any of them that have a sports book would be.
I keep forgetting Circa's not on the Strip, is it? It's on Fremont Street.
It's on Fremont Street.
Okay. Yeah. How far is and again, I'm a Vegas. It's been so long. How far is Fremont Street from the Strip?
Just long enough that I've never walked it. Give you an idea. So it's about I'd say it's about a 15-20 minute cab or Uber ride.
Is there public transit meeting like a light rail system in Vegas?
Never seen anything like that. Don't see a lot of buses. Don't see a lot of cabs. It's Uber. It's Uber or walking is what you do here.
Yeah, all I hear is light rail because we're putting in a trolley system over here. Don't even get me started.
It's at 1843. What are you talking about?
We're putting in light rail, and
Molly,
we're going to have
Molly the trolley. Guys.
It's going to be. Have you been to Kansas City and seen their light rail system?
No, I have not.
I mean, it's an above ground subway basically, and that's what the cars look like. But I'm just like, this is a commuter city. People aren't, and they're like, no, it's not going to cost anything, and it's free to ride. Well, it costs something. It costs a lot of money just to go like 10 blocks. Yeah, but it's expandable.
My buddy Drew once, he says, chances Ross has been to bed yet? 0. No, I went to bed. I got several hours of sleep there, Drew. I'm good. I probably will. Again, it's 5:30 right now where I'm at. So I'll probably go back to bed when we get done with the show here in a half hour.
And that's understandable.
Lay back down.
It's understandable. And I support that. When we come back, it will be Tyler Kluver joining us as he's going to talk about the Iowa game tomorrow. We'll talk about that rivalry, which is the Floyd of Rosedale, yes?
Apparently Vegas does have a monorail. I just don't know about it.
It does have a monorail? I didn't know.
They got a tunnel. They got a Tesla tunnel. Elon built a tunnel from the airport to one of the outlying casinos.
Does it have that like the Hyperloop in it?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never done it.
If that Hyperloop actually became like a real thing, that would be cool. It really would. But I don't know how long it takes and if it's like safe. Tyler Kluver, host of the Washed-Up Walk-ons, joins us next on the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
No tricks, just treats at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We've got the largest inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles, all aggressively priced. Get a 2025 Silverado with 0% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. Or grab a 2026 Silverado with 2.9% APR for up to 72 months. Looking for value? Drive away in an affordable Trailblazer with 3.9% APR and 90 days deferred payments. Come knock on our door or visit us online at willischevy.com for these treats, and we won't even make you tell us a joke to get them.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, I'm Bradley Ollinger here at Willis Nissan. Now until October, we are offering buy 3 tires, get the 4th for $1. Take advantage of this deal right now before winter. Go online today at willisnissan.com to schedule your tire placement today, and we'll see you on the service drive.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Before we get to Tyler Kluver, we do have one more weekly woo-hoo we need to get in. Ross must have went to take a potty break, so I'll go ahead and bring it in, because this might be a really, really good one. Kim, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Who is your weekly woo-hoo? And by the way, thank you for calling, because I thought you gave up on this show a long time ago. But it's good to have you here.
Oh, no.
What is your weekly woo-hoo?
Absolutely. Well, it's great to listen, as always, Travis. And my weekly woo-hoo happens to be Title IX. So really thankful for that, but also really, really grateful for the opportunities that my daughter has received. She started rowing for the very first time, was introduced to it last February at a Learn to Row camp in Iowa. The head coach over there, Coach Garbett, amazing coach, by the way, recommended her to join Des Moines Rowing Club. She started that in June, was encouraged to get a solid 2K time. She earned herself a great 2K time, and that unleashed the coaches in Power 4 schools across the country that started recruiting her. She was recruited by Tennessee, Washington, Florida, Minnesota, Ohio State, University of Iowa, of course, but University of Iowa was her first offer. She visited Ohio State, obviously tons of money, facilities like you wouldn't believe. And she chose to stay close to home on a full ride scholarship and head to the University of Iowa. And she's going to be a Hawkeye next fall.
Wow. A full ride for rowing?
I know. For rowing.
Wow. Now, this has to be hard, because I believe you are a Panther and your husband's a Panther, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got it. There's no way we'd cheer for the Hawkeyes otherwise. So it's the first time we said go Hawks.
That is a good one. That you and Senorita Puffer are like in the running right now. This is going to be a tough one to pick from. But just because she just cleared you of like, I don't know, $80,000 of potential debt. I mean, that's a good deal.
Yes, she did.
And Senorita Puffer's a public school
yes,
teacher,
she did,
so she's at home going, "Hey, wait a minute."
Kim, it's good to hear your voice. Congratulations, and go Hawks! Right? Let's hear it. Let's hear her. Go Hawks! Come on.
All right, go. Okay, go Hawks!
Yeah, she did it.
Kim,
All right, Kim,
congratulations.
thank
That
you.
is super cool. I love those stories.
Yes, that's what the weekly woohoo is about. That's what
I love
it's about.
that. That is super cool. And most important thing, we got another Hawkeye.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of another Hawkeye, let's bring in the man of the hour. I hope he's feeling better this week. He felt like shit last week. He's got a cough drop in, I think, right now. The one, the only Tyler Kluver. What's going on?
I took two vitamin C's to start my day.
Dude, I can hear.
Have you been sick all week?
The throat's still a little scratchy, but I came out of it yesterday. I would say the minute I ended the show with Ross, I had a bit of a wild experience, honestly. And from that moment till about Tuesday night, it was bad. Yeah, it was really bad. Ross, we finished that show, and I had told you that I was not feeling well.
Yeah.
And but like sometimes when the lights are on, quite literally, like the ring lights on, you can like put physical stuff away, and I was like on. We had a great show. I like exited the show Saturday night, and my wife, Saint, was like, she knew I was feeling bad. And you guys know, like when you have kids you have the monitors in the room, right? Babies whining, squeaking all night. She's like, you sleep downstairs so you don't have to hear that, and you can get a good night's sleep. So my office is downstairs. I had a 30-foot walk over to the guest bedroom, and I couldn't even get across the basement, and I was like shaking with chills, and like went into it was crazy. I almost had to like call my wife, like wake her up, because I was shaking, and then like went into like a full body cramp because I was shivering so hard, like literal teeth chattering, and then just had the worst night of sleep of my life. Life. It was crazy. Sunday, woke up, was like, wow, this is really bad. Went to urgent care, strep throat confirmed, plus, whatever else on top of that. So, yeah, man, it was quite the time. And then, of course, the little girl has strep throat, wife has strep throat. It was a week in the Kluver household.
I want to prepare you for later in life. I have no kids in the house now, and my wife says, hey, I'm going to go upstairs and sleep because I'm going to get a better night's sleep.
Yeah.
Just let you know that's what your future holds.
Yeah.
Tyler,
she's great.
What I think that is, I sort of got. I think it's like an adrenaline dump when you're on the air. Like you said, when the light is on, dude. Travis and I rarely do you get sick on the air. It happened to me one time, and it turned out to be like an actual medical emergency that I was having on the air. When I was like, oh, all of a sudden I don't feel. But man, most of the time it's something. You're focused on other things, whatever that is. If it's adrenaline, whatever the medical term is for it, then it gets over. The number of times that's happened to me, dude, you turn it off and all of a sudden you go, you feel it. And you, oh no.
It's crazy.
Caller. Thanks for coming on with us, buddy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That caller just now, rowing is so bad. It hurts so bad. I do a lot of it.
Oh, you mean it hard?
Yes.
Okay, when you said bad, I honestly thought you were going to be like, it's so bad for you physically.
No, it's it's one of the best things you can do for yourself physically. I do a lot of rowing as part of CrossFit, and it's bad. It hurts. There's for those of like whoever have ran an all-out mile, and like you're a good runner, and the better you get, the worse it hurts because the faster you can go. It's the same thing. And rowing, and then rowing involves the upper body. It hurts so bad. I've never been in a worse spot than after my most recent 2K. She was talking about it. Her daughter like did a 2K, got a good time, started getting recruiting. A 2K time trial is the worst. It's bad.
That's why I don't. You see, you're validating why I don't work out. You're validating why I'm not physically active.
In fact, yesterday.
I think that's so cool that the girl gets a full ride scholarship.
It's so cool. It is
out of Des Moines in a sport that she never really would have considered years ago.
Well, Todd Bailey, our mutual friend, his daughter rose at KU, right? I mean, she was a gymnast at Chow's forever and wanted to do collegiate sports. And they're like, oh, you have the right height, the right build to start rowing.
Yeah, rowing is a weird thing because, like, it's a very elite sort of like Ivy League thing. It's like an old, it's like almost a
It's
European.
It's Winklevoss twins. That's what it is.
Yes, it's exactly what it is, right? Like you're looking at the Ivy Leagues. You're gonna go be a 6'4", 6'5" business major in the Ivy League, and you're gonna be a rower. Like that is high society in America, basically. It's like that's what the royalty would have done in
golf, tennis, and rowing.
Absolutely, and
equestrian sports.
And so schools like Iowa, or I guess high schoolers like prep in Iowa, no one's rowing. No one's trying to get a rowing scholarship. So a lot of the girls, like when I was in college, I knew a lot of the rowing girls, and they all played some other sport. They wanted to play softball. They weren't quite as good to play Division I softball. They wanted to be a volleyball player at Division I level. They didn't quite have it. Yeah. But they know how to play sports. They know how to be part of a team. They know how to work hard.
They're athletic.
They're athletic. Yeah. They're strong. They've been in the weight room doing other stuff. And then, they just take them to the rowing house or the boat house. And it's so it's like one of those things where it's like, it's exercise is the sport, right? It's the same as like track and field. Exercise is the sport. It's kind of different than a ball sport,
Dude,
right?
I never thought of it that way because he kind of snuck it in there. It's like track and field. Track and field is just exercise as sport.
Exactly.
Who's the best exerciser?
So when you're it's different because when you're doing it, like you're practicing, and the practice is also the test. Whereas like the skills that you do for football, those are all these individual kind of like very specific things. Whereas like you're not training. It's a very weird mindset. It's a different thing. You have to have a crazy mentality to go after those endurance sports. Same thing with cycling. Crazy. Respect.
Yeah, so I'm with you. That's really cool.
Yeah. Again, validating why I don't work out. So
it's not a good reason, Travis.
I know, but see, I can justify it in my brain.
Tyler, he's got 1,000 bad reasons. It's great. It's wonderful to watch.
Everybody does.
Listen to you lecture me, Mr.
I'm not lecturing you. I'm admiring you. I'm admiring the amount of excuses you have. It's fascinating.
My thumbnail today for the YouTube video said, staying alive weekend. And to me, we were talking about before you came on, it is staying alive for the Hawkeyes. And it is 1 week at a time. You got Oregon coming up. You've got USC coming up. There's a lot of things. You lose tomorrow and you're out of any conversation. If you continue to win, if you get to that 10-2 mark, there are no guarantees because they won't even be in the Big Ten championship game. I think Ohio State and Indiana will probably be in the Big Ten championship game, right? But the Big Ten is going to get probably 4 teams in. Here's a way to get into that kind. And it's a long shot. But do you agree with me on this or disagree with my take that there's still a long shot for Iowa?
At 10-2?
Yeah.
As opposed to no shot, or as opposed to like, no, they have a good shot?
Is it a good shot at 10-2, or is it a slim shot at 10-2? That's probably
because there's
question.
so many teams in the conference, and you just don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to say at this point if it's but they're certainly still alive. They're not dead. At 10-2, they're absolutely alive.
No, if they lose,
I would
they're
say,
dead.
Right, and I would say, So your whole point of like staying alive weekend, absolutely. I think your take, I heard a little bit before I took baby boy to daycare, that Iowa State wins out is absurd. Like you're off your rocker on that one.
Really?
Yeah,
Where do they lose? Where do they lose?
The next 2 weekends?
They're at home, though. I'm giving it to them at home.
They are injured. I mean, the thing that scares me this weekend, BYU's first of all, the first thing that scares me is you have another team that's coming in that's going to try to win.
I took them to cover, actually, that 2.5.
Really?
On our podcast, by the way.
BYU's been skirting by, man. They've been skirting by. I'm not a BYU believer.
Yeah. I just think it's so hard. It's so hard to win out, especially in the position they're at, and their confidence now is shot. Like when you're undefeated, there's this little bit of like, maybe we're just better. We're just better than everybody. Like we're not going to lose. And then when you do, someone exposes the chink in your armor. You're like, uh-oh. Now everybody else sees it. So it's like, it's one of those things.
Just dumb enough to believe it.
Right.
When you're when you're undefeated, you're just dumb enough to believe it and go, yeah, dude, we're great. And then it's like a boxer that loses that first match, and then all of a sudden their confidence is shaken or something.
If Iowa State wins out, will you say I'm the smartest guy you know?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Ross will hate that, I guess. I have no problem doing that. But back to Iowa, 10-2. 10-2, they definitely get in. Well, they have a good shot of getting in.
Good shot of getting in.
Because they'll have a win over Oregon at that point. And so
would you agree with me that Iowa State has a better chance of going 10-2 than Iowa does, though? Just based on what's coming. I mean, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's probably closer than you'd think, but yeah. Yeah, they just don't play. They don't play a team left on their schedule like Oregon or USC.
No. And that's why I look at it and go, oh, it's possible.
And then I'm not sure. Who do they have down the stretch here? BYU, Arizona State? I know Oklahoma State is trash, but
so they got 2 home games: BYU, Arizona State. Go to TCU. That's going to be the tough one.
That's a good one.
They get KU at home, and then they get Oklahoma State on the road. And they're not. If they lose to Oklahoma State, they don't deserve to be anywhere because Oklahoma State's bad.
They might have to shut down the program if they lose to them.
The fact that they get BYU, Arizona State, and KU at home is the reason I like that.
I would, if you were to do a fun experiment and rank Iowa and Iowa State's last 10 games as hardest to easiest for the average opponent. I'm not sure Iowa State has one in the top 3. It's Oregon, USC, and then potentially Nebraska. It might be Nebraska.
Now, okay, Minnesota beat Nebraska, but you got Minnesota at home.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think that Nebraska is a tougher game than BYU? Again, BYU's a home game for Iowa State. Arizona State's a home game for Iowa State, but
where they're played, it definitely matters. If BYU is at home, it would probably. They're close. They're close. I think that third one is up in the air, though. The first 2 are non-negotiable. Like, those are very clearly. And so, yeah, you're probably right. Iowa State could go 10-2. It's so hard to win ball games, though. As a lot of teams are finding out.
I'm not
and when you're injured, Iowa State's injury report is lengthy right now, and they've got some.
I see those come out, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Do you wish every league did that? Does the Big Ten do that? Big Ten doesn't do that, does it?
I don't know about injury report. They have to give availability reports.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're going to start having a Chauncey Billups situation. But probably you might still, honestly. But yeah, I don't think they do like a full injury report. But those injury reports that have been coming out for Iowa State, it looks like a receipt from Hy-Vee. It's crazy.
That's a good way to put it.
Good way to look at
it. Like, do they have anybody that is playing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to push back a little bit on that. I do think that this BYU game, especially with the weight of it, I feel like this game it deserves a little bit more credibility, but I think the fact that it's at USC maybe makes that USC game the second one, and it is a conversation about the third, but this is a huge game. This is a really tough game for Iowa State. All things considered, even being at home, with how injured you are, how the weight of this game, the fact that you said, Tyler, earlier, that you nailed it, man. They are feeling that kind of wobbly knees thing right now, to use the fight reference. This is a big one tomorrow.
A great one to win, though. If they can win this
great
game,
way to put it.
Because it's a very winnable game, but the confidence that you get back if they come out on top of this one, hey, now we're
good way to put it.
What would they be, 6-2 at that point?
Yeah.
Now you start to be like, okay, we're not dead yet, right? Like maybe Rocco gets his swag back. I know he's been struggling. I don't watch them super closely, but I follow, enough podcasts to know like what their problems are. I think they've got their kicker back, maybe. Unbelievable. That they're going through those struggles. So, yeah.
Tomorrow is a trophy game for Iowa. When you were playing, I always like to go back in time. Where did Floyd rank in the trophy games?
It is back in time. For us, it was always, and people have to remember that when I'm speaking, the Nebraska game. Well, I mean the Nebraska trophy isn't. It's not.
It's not. It's a corporate made trophy.
Yeah,
if they would have done something organic, it would have been great. Instead, Hy-Vee ruined it.
If they found a way to make a better trophy, it might enhance that, because I actually believe that the Nebraska Iowa rivalry is probably the most heated, even though it was a manufactured thing. Because of something I can't explain or answer. Iowa and Nebraska go back at each other more than anybody. does. Maybe
you mean from a fan's chirping standpoint?
Yeah. And so I think it's had enough time now. It's had a lifespan that is, like your credit score. One of the marks on there is your debt history or whatever, your credit history. The credit history is starting to gain some points there for the Iowa-Nebraska rivalry. It's approaching 2 decades now. And so in the beginning, it felt like very like, okay, we have a new rival, Nebraska. And that was right at the beginning of my time. They started that in 2011. I came in 2013. Just didn't feel the same then.
Oh, wow.
So I think, for us, it was always Minnesota, Wisconsin. And Wisconsin was a team that knew how to play football back then too. And my favorite trophy was always the Bowl. But I think the best trophy, like if you'd poll 100 people on the Family Feud board, I think 72 of them would say it's the pig. It's the pig. Yeah.
Now, do you just not put Cyhawk in there? Or are you just looking at the?
So, yeah, it's interesting because it's a great rivalry. But it's not for me. It didn't hold quite as much weight for the season. Every year because it's just not a conference game. It just doesn't
make sense.
It never. You could lose that game and it still doesn't mean quite as much. Because it's not a conference loss. It's still very close. It is like a 1C to those other ones. But for me personally, it was the most fun to play in. Because as an Iowa kid, there's just so much history.
That's
that
what
you
I was
remember.
expecting. Okay, that jives with what I was thinking.
Every perspective you take to these rivalry games, you can look at and say, oh, this is my favorite in this lane. This is my favorite because of this. They're all great. The Nebraska one was never that great for us, but
it was still new.
Yeah, it's becoming better.
Yeah.
First 1 to 20 win tomorrow. I think the over/under's 39.5. First 1 to 20 get the win tomorrow. Or are we seeing a 10-7 game tomorrow?
No, I don't think we're seeing a 10-7 game. The only teams that have been able to hold us to that much were Iowa State, and that was because we're figuring stuff out in week 2, and then Indiana, who's a top 3 team in the country. So Minnesota's not that. I think we score over 20 points, and I just don't see how. And I just don't see how they do. So I think, and I've heard a lot of other people kind of guess in this range, like 24-17, 27-17. It feels right. Something like that feels right. I do think that this is a game where, and it's happened a couple times with Minnesota, where like Hawks kind of break the rubber band, and that all of a sudden it's a 17, 21-point game. But I always tend to think that games are going to be really, really close. I just played in a lot of them. It just feels like every game is close. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota covers that 7 and 8.5 point spread.
Was that hard as a player knowing, you mentioned play in a lot of close games. I think that's just the way I was built. Kirk Ferentz likes a close game. That's what I assume because he's in a lot of them. Was that hard as a player knowing that basically every week you're going to be in a close game?
No,
it
was
that's
awesome.
What you thrived of?
Yeah, it was great. It was great because the whole mindset all year, every day is things are going to be like, you do this because it's hard. You're a Division I football player. You're at the highest level. You're training in the best facilities. Nothing's easy. And there's almost like it's almost a shame if it was all easy on game day, right? Like at least in the first quarter to start the game when it's 0-0, it's going to be a battle. Maybe we can get to a point where we make the third or fourth quarter easy, but it's at some point it's going to be a grind. And so you are quite literally built for the grind. And that's about the most cheesy cliche thing there is.
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's true at that level. And so, and it's a really, really good baseline to never overlook your opponent. And then when you play the big guys, it's the same expectation. You're like, yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing for these guys. It's going to be a grind. We're going to it's one play at a time. You're going to have to find your way through the shit. It's going to be hard. Yeah.
All right. I got 2 questions. One of them is the question that you missed out on last week that we were talking about. And that is that we were talking about our favorite returners or the people that we thought were the best punt and kickoff return guys that we'd seen. My first question is that one. My second question is going to be one that I'm sure you've talked about on Washed-Up Walk-ons, but I can't remember hearing you talk about your favorite Hawkeyes growing up. So first question is the return guys. You got to know this world in an intimate level, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I went up against some greats. For the Hawkeyes, I think I texted Travis last week. My answer is Coop, and we've had good ones. I mean, Dwight is the OG. Desmond King was really underrated during my time, and Desmond had a little bit of what Coop has. Is like they almost move in slow motion, like they're Keanu Reeves. They're Keanu Reeves in the Matrix. And you're like, how are they like they're Weechin, because Weechin and Coop move differently. If you think about it, Weechin is the roadrunner. His legs are spinning. They are going all the time. Coop was kind of that, like, you see him like put his weight down into the ground and he would lean on people and they would be like, oh no, where's he going? And he had this magic about him. You just didn't know. And he could get up and go immediately. I think that as and I look at this as from the other side, like I'm trying to go tackle them. And I had to try and go get Jabril Peppers, Christian McCaffrey. I went up against some dogs in my time. Didn't do well against
you have to bring up
many of them. If I was trying to tackle one of them, I would have a better read on Caden Weechin. Doesn't mean I'd get to him, but I would know where he was going probably a little bit more than where Cooper was going. Cooper was he was like, oh my God, I don't know what he's going to do. Obviously, the famous one against these guys on Saturday that got called back. On the other side of things, my favorite Hawkeyes growing up, one of them is a basketball player, two of them actually, and then for football it was Robert Gallery. So I was about 8 years old when Robert, during the 2002 season, and their Hawks start to peak and they're elite, right? And I had a Robert Gallery, eventually later in his career when he went to the Raiders, I had a Robert Gallery signed rookie jersey card, like trading card of Robert Gallery that I had on my nightstand. Yeah. I would sleep next to Robert Gallery when I was 10 years old, 11 years old.
That's great. Like it. Love it.
Two other favorite Hawkeyes are Adam Haluska and Greg Brunner.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I've got to meet Brunner a few times.
Talk about random names right there.
I've never had the chance to meet Adam Haluska. I got the chance to meet Brunner a few times. He's a really fun dude. Really cool guy to sit and chat with.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him at a golf outing. He is a cool dude. Yep.
Yeah.
I think he said,
a good one, Kluver.
Yeah, he came up to me and introduced himself, I think, and he said he listened to the show, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like validation. It's like, if
dude,
you listen
for me,
to the show.
Tyler, for me, that was Chuck Long and Jess Settles. They were the two guys that and then they walked into the studio and like Jess, who's just the coolest guy. And Chuck Long, I mean, that might as well have been a president in my mind.
It basically is. Yeah.
He's got that aura about him of like, that's Chuck Long.
Yeah.
And then they call you or they're on your show and you're like, oh my God, this is a magical world I live in.
Those guys still have the aura. I went to a networking event and saw Gallery was there. And it was all just former Iowa players at the Iowa facility. And my wife was like, are you going to go say something to him? Like, are you, like, be good to have on the show? And I was like, I don't think I can do it. I can't do it.
I'm going to freeze up.
I like Josie Jewell too. Josie Jewell, great Hawkeye.
And he's the
honorary
captain this week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can't lose with him.
All right, Kluv, if you can jump on with us tomorrow for a little bit, let us know. You're always
try.
invited.
If you're not feeling good, man, we get it.
I feel better.
See it, that adrenaline rush hits you.
I was yesterday. I was in the garage. I was giving myself rhabdo yesterday in the garage, so I'm back.
Nice. All right, buddy. We'll see you next week.
See you, boys.
Or
See you,
Saturday.
boys.
See you. Tyler Kluver joining us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Ross, you go back to sleep. Go get some sleep.
I'm going to do that.
Because I know you hit it hard at the Wizard of Oz last night.
Yeah, I was getting after it, let me tell you. Those waters hit different.
The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
It's Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
What's going on, everybody? Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. I'm excited to talk about some new things we have going on this month in October. Right now, we only have a handful of 2025 models left. We have $10,000 in retail cash on 2025 80s. We have $8,000 on QX60s, and we have $6,500 on QX50s and 55s. Also, all 2026 models, we have $2,000 off. For more information, come visit our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.